All right, so welcome to the newest episode of Talk to Derek, the show that builds trust with video. And with me today, I have Stephen Cheung, who is the owner of Cheung's Trading Company. So welcome, Stephen.
Thank you for having me, Derek.
Thank you for agreeing to do this. And so we're going to just go ahead and get right into it and ask you some questions here today, Stephen. So tell us about your Cheung's Trading Company and what products and services that you provide there.
Well, Cheung's Trading Company is actually a company that my parents started the business back in 1985. So we just actually turned 28 back in May. We were the first Chinese herbal medicine store when we first opened back in 1985. We have since grown to become not only the largest store of its kind in Windsor, Essex, but to the best of my knowledge, the biggest one in Ontario.
Wow.
So that's saying something given the fact that, even Toronto does not, and I've been to a lot of stores like this in Toronto area, for example, and there's no store that's anywhere as big as what we have here in Windsor. Best way to describe what we do there is that I tell customers, think of us as a Chinese herbal version of the shoppers. So people coming to my store because they have some of them have health issues, whether diabetes or high blood pressure. Some of them just wants to stay healthy. So it doesn't matter whether you have health issues or you're already pretty healthy, but you want to stay that way. We have something in the store for you, but it's made from traditional Chinese herbs.
Excellent, excellent. Okay. And what made you to decide to create the company? Or I guess you just already answered that. You said you took over from your father, correct?
Well, my parents actually are still very actively in the business. My parents are both in their 70s, respectively. But, retirement is definitely not on the horizon anytime soon. That's a great thing when you run your own business. You don't really see 65 as a retirement age. I mean, my dad actually, quite frankly, he's a workaholic, so he quite frankly wouldn't know what to do if he was to take 5 days a week off.
There you go.
He doesn't
Plus,
play golf.
if you're taking all those products, it's keeping them fit and energetic for work, right?
And you know what, Derek? I would say if you get a chance to meet my dad, he probably doesn't look the age he is. He just recently turned, yeah, he just recently turned 76, and most customers come in, they'll say, obviously he's not going to pass for 55, but 62, 63 is probably what most people would peg him at. So definitely, we certainly think the Chinese herbs that we take makes a huge difference. We definitely walk our talks. But to answer your question, my parents originally started the business, being new immigrants to Canada, living here in Windsor. Obviously, being from Hong Kong originally, we're used to being able to find stores like this everywhere in Hong Kong. Stores like this are a dime a dozen, literally in Hong Kong. Every 5 blocks there's a store like this. But once my parents came to Canada, they realized there are no stores like this. So it's a combination of them sensing that there was a good business opportunity, as well as the fact that they just felt that the people of Windsor could use a store like this.
Okay, awesome. And it's obviously working out. So, Stephen, what do you think has been your biggest success to date?
Definitely, and it's a very broad answer to your question. The health and wellness we've been able to bring to a lot of people. And what I mean by that, Derek, is a lot of the people who come into my store, and this is especially true with people who have health issues, they have sought help elsewhere, haven't had much success. In many cases, actually, their problem has gotten worse. A lot of them hear about my store, usually through word of mouth, and within depending on how long they've had the problem for, within a couple of months, we have literally turned the clock back for them. A lot of these people with the aches and pains for years, within 3-4 months, they feel 60, 75, 80% better. So certainly that makes coming to work really pleasant for us because we know that we're making a difference in people's lives every day.
That's great. Fantastic. Let me see here. Any kind of big plans moving forward, Stephen?
A lot of people have asked us if we plan to open up a second location. That's always on our radar screen, Eric. Although I certainly myself, I would not put that as a high priority item. Expanding the online portion of the business would be much higher priority for me, and certainly a way for me to be able to reach a lot more people, a lot more at a very cost-effective manner. we've had a website up and running since 2004. So that's quite a while. And even I mean, considering that most people didn't even start surfing the net until around that time.
Right.
So we had a website ever since 2004. We completely revamped our website about a year and a half ago to make it more user friendly. But to answer your question, we want to social media. We're using social media to drive a lot of traffic for our website. And as far as I'm concerned right now, that's where I see the future of the company. That's where I see the growth.
Tell me, Stephen, what would be? I'm sure you saw many things. I had a chance to browse your site a little bit. What are some of the most popular products today?
You have the usual ones there, such as ginseng and royal jelly and ginkgo biloba. Those are for things like increasing your energy, enhancing your memory, increasing your blood circulation. Those are the most common ones. But those are not necessarily for people who have health issues. As I mentioned earlier, a lot of people come into my store because they have health issues. So the most common health issues, especially the chronic health issues that are affecting Canadians, are also the same things that those are the same ailments that I'm selling a lot of products for. So people are coming in for high blood pressure, arthritis, diabetes. The major difference is the component of the medicine being natural. There are no side effects. And that's really the key thing right there, because one thing, as somebody who's been in this business for a long time, Derek, I can never quite understand the concept of why medicine has to give you side effects. I just don't get it. I mean, I was also born in Hong Kong. To me, from the time I was born, I was always taught, medicine should make you feel better.
Yeah.
If that is in fact the case, why is it that medicine has to carry all these side effects with it? You take something for your high blood pressure, but now it causes fatigue, or it might even increase your chance of getting, let's say, high blood pressure. So, that's really been our fundamental line philosophy. And, in the last 28 years since we've been in business there, we come a long way. I mean, I can say that definitely 8 years ago, a lot of the people who've been coming to our store now, we could not even give away some of the stuff we're selling right now because there was no trust. People didn't know about Chinese medicine.
Right.
But a lot has changed. People's perception of what Chinese medicine can do and how safe it is has completely changed.
Well, I think we've all seen all too many of those commercials for some of the U.S. Pharmaceutical products. They tell you a little bit about it, and then the next 30 seconds or so they list all the things that you might experience after, all the side effects and stuff. And it's so I think we've all seen that, and we can all speak to that for sure. So I think you definitely have the right perspective there, as it should make you just feel better. I mean, that's the idea. So that's a great point. I think everybody's going to enjoy that. And I got one other question before we do something a little bit different here. So just tell me a little bit about your customers, Stephen. Do you get just a little bit of everything, young, old, male, female, or do you have do you have a certain demographic that you seem to get a lot of, or is it just a little bit of everybody?
You actually kind of you actually took the answers right out of my mouth, Eric. I mean, our customer demographic is really all over the place. I mean, we get customers coming in bringing their 4 or 5 year old kids because they have health problems. So we get customers 4 or 5 years old. We also get customers who are in their 80s and 90s. Now, I would say the majority of my customers are people between the age of 30 to 55.
Okay.
Just because, for a number of reasons. Truth is, most people who are either, 8 or 9, if you're 8 or 9, you're too young to know how to come to a store like this by yourself.
Right.
If you're a teenager, most teenagers, let's face it, are not the most health conscious people in the world.
No.
They think beer is on the vitamin list.
Yeah.
So, therefore, those people, but a lot of those people who do come into the store, they come in because of their parents brought them in.
Right.
And because they have gotten fantastic results from taking Chinese herbal medicine, a lot of these people continue to take it. And so what the parents have done is set a great example as to how they should take care of the health problem moving forward. But to answer your question, that's the great thing about being here in Windsor there. It's a very multicultural, very ethnically diversity.
It really is.
And our customer base reflects that.
Okay, great. So now we're going to try something a little different. We're going to hop into our first lightning round. So Stephen, you're going to answer these questions pretty quickly. So Just gonna ask you if you kind of prefer one thing or the other, and just quick answers here, Stephen. Let's see how this goes. Okay.
All
So
right.
first question: you like the Apple iOS, Android, or BlackBerry?
I've been using the iPhone for the last 5 years, so I'm iOS all the way there.
iOS. All right. What's the best Chinese restaurant in Windsor?
They're all good. They're all. I can't play favorite. They're all good.
That's the safe
Try them,
answer.
try them all and let me know which one is your favorite.
Yeah, they're all great. Okay, favorite thing to do in your free time?
I love to play golf. However, a lot of my friends don't play golf, and I don't particularly like joining a group of threesome. So the next best thing would be going hiking. Canoeing is another thing I love doing, but unfortunately in Windsor, you kind of have to drive a little bit farther than I like to go canoeing and kayaking.
Yeah, yeah, we got to work on that. Okay, so Mac or PC?
That I would have to answer PC, even though I answered iOS earlier.
Oh, okay, I was kind of surprised.
Just because I can't justify dropping $3,000 on the MacBook that I like.
Okay, okay. And let's see, if you could vacation anywhere in the world, where would you go?
I've been very fortunate that I've been to quite a few places already, but one place that I would like to go, but unfortunately I'm way too scared to go right now because of political instability, is Egypt.
Egypt. All right,
I
so
can't I
check out the
can't touch that
pyramids.
I can't touch that country right now with a 50-foot pole.
Yeah, they got to figure out their governments and
Yeah, way
politics
too
there.
much stuff going on, but I really love to go to Egypt. But a place that I can go right now though would be Venice. I've been to Italy, but unfortunately, when I went to Italy quite a few years ago, there I didn't get a chance to. Sorry, I didn't get a chance to visit Venice. I got to see Rome and Florence, but I missed out on Venice. So that's something my wife and I would really like to do is ride the gondola.
All right, so we'll look for you in Venice in the near future, perhaps. All right. Well, if you'd like to learn more about Stephen and his trading company, we're going to put up all the contact information there. You can swing by, give him a call, check out the site, all that great stuff. And that's going to wrap it up for this episode. So, once again, just want to thank Stephen for agreeing to do this. And we'll see everybody in the next episode. Thanks.
Thanks again, Derek.